now. So
Yeah, and he
um,
did it last year before he went down too. So,
exactly. What about the Wizards side of the ball? What do you like in with Washington?
um, if Troy Brown keeps getting those minutes that he was getting a few games ago versus the Pistons and Minnesota, he has value in that 4K price tag. But he did go down to 17 minutes last game, and he's the same price as Bertans and $100 more than CJ Miles, who all play the same position. So another little tidbit that if I'm playing any of them in my lineup, I'm not playing more than one. I would set a rule in my 150 to say no Troy Brown, no Davis Bertans, and no CJ Miles in the same lineups because they're negatively correlated. They just can't go off at the same time together.
Yeah. Of those three, I really like Bertans myself. I think we talked about him on Monday's pod. Troy Brown, I rostered him yesterday. One of the greatest situation. It looked like a smash buy, but it wasn't the greatest situation. Like you said, he only got the 17 minutes.
Hmm.
You could go back and and say the recency bias, but I'm with you. If you're gonna pick any of those people as small forward, just pick one and don't try to roster both of those together.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say my favorite of those would probably be CJ Miles, just because he's we know how hot he can get, and when he gets hot, he stays in the game.
mhm.
So he's a guy that he can make 4 3 pointers and a half, and they'll be forced to play him a little bit more in the second half because of it. So at 3,900, and he's the cheapest, I think he'll probably be my favorite of those three cheapies.
Gotcha. Probably goes without question with Bradley Beal. But what about Isaiah Thomas?
I didn't notice. I think him moving into the starting lineup actually hurt him a little bit, because obviously now he's competing with Bill for usage, and he's competing for shots now. So his minutes didn't go up. They still are keeping him at. Actually, every other game has specifically been 19 minutes, 24 minutes, 19 minutes, 24 minutes, 19 minutes. So if my uh, observations is checking me right, I think the next game he'll play 24 minutes. But I'm not sure that's enough at 5,500 for him. Like if he was getting 24 minutes with the second unit, then sure. But I'm not sure. But I mean, I guess it's a little miniature revenge game too.
Little miniature, but it's not like him going to Boston. Not like him going to
Yeah,
Boston.
no, no,
So
yeah.
the only other piece from Washington is my guy, man, Rui Hachimura. Like I like him 5,500 as a last person to put into your to your lineup. So I don't hate Rui at all. I like the kid's talent against Cleveland. Good total at 227. I could see me rostering some Rui on Friday night.
Yeah, I think he's been getting into foul trouble a little bit. I think that's why his minutes have been a little bit all over the place. But um, not my favorite play, but I'll accept it if he falls into any of my builds.
We will see at the end. We'll see at the end. All right.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next game. We can be real quick with this one. Memphis at Orlando. Low total in this one. 208, like we mentioned at the start of the pod. Um, Orlando, just a weird squad. They're off to kind of a slow start record wise. Any pieces on the Orlando puzzle that excite you that you really want to roster on Friday?
I think Aaron Gordon is a little bit underpriced for what we've seen him do in his career. 6,300 on FanDuel. Um, he's getting the big minutes still. The minutes aren't going anywhere. It's just the production that's slightly going somewhere. But we always love him in pace up situations, and that's exactly what he's getting today. So I like Aaron Gordon.
Okay. And then, I've been trying to roster Markel Fultz here and there. He's moved in the starting lineup as well. Like you said, it's a pace up, so maybe at 5,000, you're only really looking for him to get, the 25 FanDuel points. So he's averaging, around 22 in the last three. So I think he can get there. in this matchup, so I don't mind Markelle Fultz. I'm not gonna roster Vooch in this one, and the rest of the another guy too I think about is Jonathan Isaac, although that price is kind of caught up with production at 7K. Jonathan Isaac, real good player, real good young player. But on this big slate, I don't feel like you have to roster him. But I don't mind Jonathan Isaac. So I guess there's more Orlando pieces than I care to like. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, having the pace up versus a bad defense and a young defense is going to get that for you.
Exactly. What about on Memphis side of the ball?
Not much. I mean, I can't keep rostering Jaren Jackson if he's just gonna get 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes and then sit the entire second, pretty much the entire second half. Like, this is really frustrating now.
Man, you killing me. That's my guy.
Games,
that's my guy.
It's so bad because he's so talented, but he just cannot play defense. And then the thing is that the last game, it wasn't even the defensive fouls. He had 2 charges. And I was just like, what are you doing?
Listen, I will not stand for this blasphemy on Triple J. That's my guy.
You're going to hear it today.
That is my guy. I understand he has a bit of an issue with fouls, but he's working. He's working it. He's trying to work on the thing.
There has not been a game where he hasn't had 2 fouls in the first quarter yet.
That may be the case, but he's still my guy. So, okay.
I like Dylan Brooks. Brooks at 5K is a lot. There's a lot of value in that price tag still. We've seen him hit a few ceiling games when he got the 30-minute mark, and if he gets 30 minutes again in this matchup, I mean, going against this defense, there's nothing scary about it. So I think Dylan Brooks can do well here.
Yeah, I'm with you on Dylan Brooks. Also, John Morant. I mean, I roster him a little too much, but I kind of like him in this spot, and Brandon Clark too.
I'm just scared of these price tags. Like, John Morant is priced as if he's averaging 40 fantasy points a game, but he's only averaging 33, and they refuse to give him 30 minutes. So it's just, I think he's just priced out of my value considerations.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'll take that. All right, let's move on. We spent way too much time on the game. We said we weren't going to spend time on it. We spent way too much time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Sacramento at Atlanta. That game is in the ATL. We talked about the 220 total. Sacramento, trying to figure some things out. What do you like with the Kings?
On the Kings side, not much, to be honest. To be completely honest, there's not much on this side that I'm even considering outside of maybe Rashawn Holmes at 64. I know in the last game versus Toronto, he popped big time in my builds. He got the 30 minutes that I wanted, but against that Toronto and Marc Gasol defense, he just didn't get me what I wanted. But if he gets 30 minutes in this matchup, I like that a lot more. So 6,300 or 6,400 for Holmes, I'll take that.
No love for Fox or Hield?
Not really. I just think that they're a little bit priced out. Atlanta they play this high-paced game, but actually I think they're lower paced this year.
Yeah,
let me check that real quick.
I'm pulling them up. Atlanta is 18th in pace in the NBA.
They're not as like last year. They were just off to the races.
Right.
They slowed the game down a lot this year. And that's when you usually love De'Aaron Fox in those really high-paced games because he get those steals and fast breaks. But at 8,200, I just I'm not.
You don't have to force.
I'm not all in.
Yeah, you don't have to force on this one.
If he comes into any of my builds, I'll take it, but I'm not going out of my way to get it.
Gotcha. What about Atlanta?
Trae Young is the greatest player to ever walk through Atlanta in history.
You're showing your age, man, because you got Neek, man. Dominique, I remember that dude. So
it's Al Horford.
Hey, he's from around. He's from around where I'm from, so yeah, I know about Al a little bit too. So
Trae Young gave us the good old I am human game.
Did he give you Andrew Wiggins last one? He didn't give you an Andrew Wiggins?
Nah, it wasn't the Andrew Wiggins. Nah, real close, but it wasn't. He had 9 points and 13 fantasy points. So, I don't know. I think Chicago blew them out. I think
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
because that
wasn't
was the game
close.
that
Yeah.
Otto Porter had
Yep.
30 fantasy points in the first quarter and then got hurt and just didn't come back. And I was so tilted. But Trae Young, 9,300. We know he has the 60-point upside. So that's what you're looking for with guys around that price.
Gotcha. Any other Hawks? Maybe Jabari Parker with a new role.
What's his price tomorrow? I didn't see it.
Jabari
I know he was
he's
last I
seven.
checked. Yes.
FanDuel caught up with him. He's 7,000.
Yeah, he was 71 last time. I don't mind that. We know Jabari has 40 and 50-point upside. We've seen it multiple times. I don't mind that 7K price tag. I think the other guys that I would consider is Kevin Herter and DeAndre Bembry. Just some value guys that if you're trying to fit a couple studs in, I would consider those guys.
Gotcha. All right. Let's keep it moving. Toronto is at New Orleans tomorrow night. Let's see. Well, high total, 233 in a lot of spots, 234 in some spots. Toronto, let's start with Toronto. What do you like in there? I mean, I've got my favorite in Pascal Siakam, but outside of him, who do you really like on Toronto?
Yeah, I think most of these guys are appropriately priced. Kyle Lowry's 8,500, and I like the matchup, but 8,500, he's probably just going to get you that 4 to 5x.
Yeah, that's too much. I think it's too much on an 11-game slate for me.
I think like he's a better maybe like a cash guy if there's not like obvious value that's going to open up, but he's at 8,500 in this matchup. I think he's a lock for 40 fantasy points. I think that's pretty much guaranteed to happen tomorrow.
Gotcha. Any other Raptors you're trying to roster?
Fred VanVleet had his career game versus them on opening night. I don't know if you guys are into chasing repeats like that, but usually in the NBA that those things happen because of a specific matchup or a specific type of play style. So maybe he can find some value on his price tag tomorrow.
Gotcha. Moving over to New Orleans, we talked about this a little bit because I think they were on the Monday slate. Brandon Ingram, this is his squad. This is his team right now.
Yep, and he's performed every game since then that we talked about it as well.
Yep.
8,800, and he's still putting up 55 fantasy points, and you love that at that price. So he has the ceiling. He can score 40 real points in a game. He gets the steals. He gets the blocks. He's not turning the ball over 10 times like James Harden and Westbrook. He's doing everything he can, and he has ceiling games. So what I would do in this situation is if I do roster Brandon Ingram at that price tag, we know we want him to hit a ceiling. I would definitely lock in one of either Pascal or Lowry to go along with him. Yeah, because if this game stays close, more than likely Ingram is the reason, and Siakam and or Lowry both have to hit their ceilings if this game stays close and it goes above the total.
No doubt. We talked a little bit on Monday Pod about Drew Holiday, but in the event that Lonzo sits this one out, I think I like Drew a little bit more. But like you said, he's taking a backseat to all these ex-Lakers, and so it will be interesting to see. I would definitely need to get more Lonzo Ball news before I roster Drew tomorrow.
Yeah, I like Point Drew.
Yeah. Point Drew is a lot different than what he's doing with all the Lakers in the mix. Any other Pelicans?
Josh Hart's price hasn't moved yet, and he's still pretty productive at that price. So it depends on whether or not there's obvious value. But for right now, that's a solid mid-range guy.
Yeah. And the dude, it's not for tomorrow's slate, but just keep this name in mind. I talked about him with Rob Beard on that season opening podcast. Jackson Hayes. This dude was a beast last year at Texas. He's not getting the minutes right now. I mean, he got 16, 13, 9, 23 in his last couple games, trying to work him into the rotation. If he gets minutes, this dude can produce. He is a young, talented center. So watch for him. Not tomorrow's slate. You don't need him for tomorrow. But just keep that in the back of your mind that Jackson Hayes is a player to watch for. So I think that's all I really saw on New Orleans' side. And we talked Toronto, so let's keep it moving. Golden State at Minnesota tomorrow night. Golden State. No total on this one as we